I gotta get myself together, 'cause I got some place to go. And I'm praying when I get there, I see everyone I know. I wanna go to Canada. I wanna go to Canada. Do you wanna go to Canada? I wanna go to Canada. Oh. What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu. Whatever you want to call me, you don't know that it is me. And this is Malika's Flex. So, welcome back to all my super flexers, big flexers, and my half flexers. If you are new to this video, welcome to the madness. This is me, this is Malika's Flex, and I'm here to bring you all with another informative video. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscription button below, the subscribe button down below. If you've not yet hit the post notification bell, go ahead and do so, and go ahead and click like on this video. Why am I out of breath? Let's get into it. So you clicked on this video because you are interested in knowing how you could get to Canada with a permanent resident card. No studying involved. You're in the right place. Sit down, relax, listen to everything that I have to say in this video. I think it's gonna be a long one, but stay with me for the ride. So I was talking to one of my colleagues, one of my classmates, who is now in Canada. You guys, if you have not, or if you don't know about her, go and check out her YouTube channel. She's called Christine. Subscribe to her, you guys, and I'm gonna be mentioning some others in this video. But she was telling me that, you know, you can go to Canada with a permanent resident card before you even get there. So I was like, I always thought that you had to study to go to Canada. And she was like, no. So there are different pathways to Canada. Now, most of you who are on my channel, most of you all are teachers, but this video is for anybody with a degree and some experience in their field, okay? Share this video, stop what you're doing right now. Share this video with a friend who you think may be interested, who may benefit from this video. It's going to be super informative, okay? So she was like, you do not need to study in order to get into Canada. And I was like, I always thought that this was the case because most times, or in all cases that I know of, I only know people who have studied to get into Canada. And if you guys are on her page, you see that she also studied in Canada. But the more I've been following influencers and you know, just people on TikTok and also here on YouTube, I've realized that many people who go to Canada through the study route actually end up regretting it because they realize afterwards that it wasn't necessary. Similar to how I told you guys that when I got here in the US, I realized afterwards that there was something called H1B, like I didn't know anything about it before. Because, you know, you have good, better, best. It's kind of a similar situation. So in this video, I'll be telling you everything that you will need in order to immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident. Now, like I've said, there are multiple pathways to get to Canada, even if you don't have a degree. However, I'm zooming in on the federal skilled worker program that they have through Express Entry. If you are like me and you know nothing about Express Entry, this video is definitely for you. You don't know where to get started, how to get started, this video is for you. Now, let me start. Where should I start? There is a program or something called Express Entry. Even though it says Express Entry, I don't think it's so express. But it's where you get to enter a pool of candidates and you get the chance to be selected to go to Canada. Now, I'll explain more about this later on, but being selected doesn't mean that you're fully through the door, right? But it's the main or the first big step to get to Canada, right? So you can evaluate yourself to see if you actually qualify for the program, and I'm going to be showing you how to do that later on in this video. So the first thing that you want to do is, well, you perhaps want to evaluate yourself first before even paying any money to do anything. But like I said, I'll show you that part later on. So what you really want to do after you've evaluated yourself and you see that you might just be eligible to get to Canada through this pathway is you will want to do two main things in order to actually get into the pool. And that is, one, take the IELTS general test and also evaluate your credentials through WES or one of the approved evaluation companies by the IRCC, right? Now, getting your degree evaluated may take a little while. It could take a month, it could take 2 months, all depending on your university and the relationship that it has or perhaps does not have with WES. It could take a short amount of time, or it could take some time, a long time. Now, the WES evaluation actually lasts or it's valid for about 5 years. So after you've gotten that done, you're set for 5 years. The IELTS exam is only valid for 2 years. So it's better to get the WES evaluated first, and close to when you know that the WES will be coming through, you can go ahead and sit the IELTS. It takes about 13 days if you did it on paper to get the results, right? Once you have those two, you have the certificate for those two, you can go ahead and jump into the express entry pool. Now let me speak a little bit more on the IELTS first. So you hear me saying IELTS. IELTS, I'll put exactly what the abbreviation is on the screen, but essentially it is an English test. Even if you are a native English speaker, you have to take the IELTS, all right? Now, the test is valid for 2 years, as I said before, and you may be thinking, why is this test valid just for 2 years? Do they think I'm going to forget English? But honestly, as somebody who has studied languages, second languages, if you don't use it, you lose it. And you will find that after 2 years, you can actually forget a language that is not your first. So right across the board, if you take IELTS, the scores are only valid for 2 years. Now, what I love about this exam is that it's not a pass or fail thing. It's really a score thing, where based on where you score, this will influence the points that you will get on your CRS. So you want the higher that your points are for the CRS, for the express entry pool, the higher your chance is of getting selected. And if you are my regular subscriber, my regular follower, you know that sometimes I may go into something else and come right back into the main. So you guys have to follow with me, because I can assure you that there will be something more important said along the way. You have to stick with me to the end. Even at the very last minute when I say this is the end of the video, I could put something else right in there that you needed to hear. Okay, so stick with me. Right. Now, also with the IELTS has 4 sections. It tests for your 4 language abilities: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All right, that's the IELTS general. If you're planning to go to Canada and study, you may need to take the IELTS academic, but just for express entry, you need the IELTS general test. Okay, now I'll just put something on the screen for you to see more information on those. See the highest score that you can attain, see how long each section lasts. And I'll add some links within the description box of this video where you could do further reading about the IELTS, about where you could take the test. It costs about 250 Canadian dollars. That's the cost for it. I don't know if different test centers have different prices, but I know that that's the price for the one in Atlanta. All right, so that is the IELTS. You want to do that first. Try to get a good score, because even though it's not pass or fail, the higher the score, the higher overall band that you will get, and the higher CRS that you will have for express entry. I said that already. Now, with WES, you have to get it evaluated, and it's not a course by course evaluation that you're doing. It's a report for IRCC to show the equivalency of your degree. Like, it will literally just say, after, if having evaluated your degree, it shows that it's equivalent to a master's in Canada or a bachelor's degree in Canada. Like, it doesn't show the course by course. Many of you who are not new to evaluating your degrees, you are used to perhaps doing a course by course evaluation, but in this case, you are just doing one for immigration purposes. All right. Now, the beauty about evaluating your degree for WIS is that you don't have to evaluate all your degrees. So let's say you did a diploma first, then a bachelor's, and then a master's or a doctorate. The highest degree is what you want to evaluate, not everything, okay? So I love that about it. So there are certain requirements that you need to pass in order to actually enter express entry. So I've spoken about two, which comprises of the IELTS and then also evaluating your degree. But you also need to have a set amount of money in your account, and that has been sitting there for at least 6 months. All right. If you get an invitation to apply, that means you have a good score and your score is within the draw that they're doing. When they ask you for all your documents, they need to see that you've had this money in your account for some period of time, and that is not borrowed money or anything like that. So they'll ask you for a bank statement. I'm also going to put that on screen for you all to see the amount of money that you will need in Canadian dollars, and you guys can Google or calculate the equivalency for your own country, wherever it is that you are in. Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, Cuba, anywhere that you are in the world. It will be in Canadian dollars, so you can do your own conversion. All right. So you do need to have that certain amount of money. The more people in your family is the more money that you will need. All right. Now, that brings me to the next thing is yes, you can bring your family with you when you are signing up for express entry. It will ask you if you will be coming alone or if you will be traveling solo. Let me go back a little bit. See what I'm talking about, guys? I go back and forth sometimes. Let me go back a little bit to the money situation. If you have a spouse that will be accompanying you, let's say that let's say you are the main applicant, you're the wife, you are the main applicant, or perhaps you are the husband, you are the main applicant, whoever is the main applicant, you don't have enough money in your account, or that money has not been accumulated in your account for a period of time, and your spouse does have that money and you don't have a joint account, all you need to do is to have, I forgot what we call it, but I'll put it on screen, but you just need to write that letter to show, your spouse needs to write that letter to show that he or she will be accompanying you and that they do have this amount of money in their account and that you have full access to this money. And in that case, they will be providing the bank statement from their account, and it should be fine. Based on the research that I've done, everybody who has done that has, they have gone through without any issues where that is concerned. I think where it gets tricky is if your husband is not accompanying you, then it will not be, they don't consider it as your money, because it's like, okay, you say you got access to this money, but your husband's not coming with you. So technically it's still his money because you're not on his account. And it gets complicated in that case. But if your husband is definitely, or your wife is definitely coming with you, it will be migrating with you, then it's all good. I also forgot to say right here that if you have some of the money and your husband have some, so let's say individually you don't have the full amount of money, but together you have it. So I have some, he has some. You would still provide your bank statement. He would provide his bank statement, and he would still or your spouse would still write the no objection letter. And you could also do an additional letter just to explain what's happening there. There are certain points, there are certain things that adds to the points, all right? And based on the trend that I've been seeing, the IRCC, they do a draw almost every 2 weeks, but it's not constant for the most part. Like it's really random, but the pattern has been every 2 weeks. I think the last draw was October 26th, if I'm not wrong. And maybe maybe they'll stop for the rest of this year. I don't know. But as soon as they start up again, they'll probably be doing it every 2 weeks, maybe every month. So they have draws quite frequently, in my opinion. And the point system, it fluctuates. So maybe the cutoff score for one draw was perhaps 600. Maybe the cutoff score for the next one is 550. The cutoff score for another one, if you get lucky, 450. So, and then while you are in the pool, I know guys, I'm talking enjoying up, but stay with me. While you're in the pool waiting to be drawn, you can do things to keep increasing your score. So let's say your score right now is 400 and you realize that the draws have consistently been at 500. Maybe you know a second language. Maybe English is your first language and you did your IELTS, but you know a second language and you want to try for the TEF, which is the French test that you would take. That could actually add some points as well. If you get a job offer with LMIA, which is kind of difficult to do, but if you do, you could also add that, and I think it adds like 200 points or something. There are some of them that actually add a whole heap of points to the thing. So there are ways to increase it, so you don't have to be dismayed. If you go on the CRS to see how much your points would possibly be and you don't think it's a lot, don't be dismayed. You can always try something to increase your points. Sometimes the IELTS score that you got was not the best, and you could actually redo it to get a better score, which would also increase your points. Somebody that I know actually told me that after redoing her IELTS, she got almost 100 points added to her CRS. So that's how important that is. And don't think that because you are a native speaker of English, IELTS is just a breeze. No, honey. IELTS can be quite tricky and you need to have real test taking skills to do it, in my opinion. All right, so let me go ahead and walk you guys through 2 or 3 things. I'm going to walk you through the actual point system and how you can get points. And I'm also going to walk you through how to calculate your CRS to see if you would actually want to try out this thing going into the express entry pool. Now, before I do that, let me just quickly say this, and that is, if you do enter the express entry pool and you have enough points and you are selected for one of the draws, when you are drawn from the pool, it's not that you will instantly get your permanent resident card, your permanent residency. What will happen is that now they will be requesting documents from you. So in your application, you said that you have a doctorate. In your application, you said that you had X amount of money. In your application, you said that you scored perfect across all skill areas for the IELTS or for the TEF or TCF. Now you have to give proof of all these things. Of course, when you do your IELTS, you actually get a printed certificate, and I think you can access it online as well, but you get a printed certificate mailed to you. For your WES, you also get a certificate mailed to you, or whatever evaluation company you decide to use from the approved list. And just to say, guys, I think most people end up using WES, so I would just stick to WES, but hey, I'm just saying. So yeah, when you get drawn, you need to show proof of all that. Then, they will evaluate what you have sent, and, they will send for any further documents that they may need. I think usually you get a month to 2 months to actually submit all these things. Now, when you are actually applying, doing your initial application, your interest for express entry, it gives you the option to actually state the provinces that you would want to live in. If I were you, I'd go ahead and start doing research on the province that you may be interested in. Some people say that they just select all the provinces because the more province you select is perhaps the greater chance you also have. So you just want to be selected by somebody. Like I said, guys, I'll be adding things as I go along. So as I'm here editing, this also came to me. I didn't say this. If you get selected by a specific province, let's say you're selected by Ontario, and you've been hearing that Ontario is so expensive these days. You for express entry, you don't actually have to stay within that province, but it's generally advised to save in a year in the province that actually selected you. Um, but just to ensure that it won't affect your chances for citizenship later on, you could get gosh, the term isn't coming to me right now, but it's a document basically from, I don't remember, it's no objection or something from the province. You write to them to let them know that, thank you for selecting me. However, I was unable to, stay within your province due to maybe a high cost of living or whatever it is, that wasn't very convenient to you. And once they issue that to you, you could use it for your citizenship when that time comes. But I think that rule of staying in the province that selected you, it's really more so for those who were selected through a provincial nominee program, not for those with express entry. What I like about the express entry pool or the express entry system is that if I am selected and I have given all my paperwork and everything goes smoothly, and I do get to go to Canada with permanent residency, and you don't actually get the permanent residency like to your mail in your country. They don't mail that to you. They give you, I think, what you call the co-PR or COPR. I don't know how they pronounce it for the abbreviation, but you get that, and then when you go to the country, you'll apply for the official permanent resident card, right? But nothing difficult. Where was I? Right. So the beauty about it is when you do get permanent residency, even though you might have put on your application that you are a teacher, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a nurse, really and truly, no one is holding you to this profession. Personally, as a teacher, I would want to experience what it's like, teaching in Canada if I should immigrate there, or to any country for that matter. Any country that I go to, I definitely want to experience teaching there for even 6 months. But you are not required to, you don't have to. You could seek a job elsewhere. So you go, you have you have your permanent residency, you go, you seek a job. So it may be rough starting up at first because you're going without a job, and you could even start seeking jobs from before once you know that permanent residency has come through. But you go, you seek a job, you start the job, you start living and everything. So, and that is exactly why they say that you need to have a certain amount of money in your account, because they need to know that you are able to support yourself for some time, knowing that you are migrating to a whole new country, and it will take money. Anybody who has migrated before knows that it takes a whole lot of money to do this thing, all right? So you have to have your money. So when you migrate jobless, you won't be hungry, and you will not be dependent on the government for anything, because they're not bringing you to their wonderful country to have to support you. They want you to be able to fend for yourself and to help to build their country, which is why they're inviting you in the first place. Hello. Now, you're also perhaps wondering, after you have successfully processed all your documents, you've done your medical, you've done your police record, everything that they'll ask for of you to submit, you're wondering, what if I'm not ready instantly? Do I have to go instantly? The answer is no. Based on what I have read, they give you up to a year to migrate. So I think a year is enough time to actually get yourself together, maybe finish up a job that you wanted to finish up, perhaps save some more money, or whatever the case is, start to look for a job over there before you even get there, so that you'll be fine as soon as you get there. I think a year is reasonable time. Comment down below. Let me know if you think that's a year. If you think a year is reasonable for you to migrate when they finally issue that COPR, right? Let me know. All right, so let me jump right into it. As I said, I'll be showing you guys how to calculate your CRS. and also show you guys the point system as to how you can actually gain points, how the points are arranged. Now, like I said, there are multiple ways of getting to Canada. Multiple. Express entry is just one, and express entry has three different categories. Actually, it's not just the federal skilled worker program. It's And when you hear skilled worker, it's funny because when I heard it at first, I was thinking like people with literal skills like plumbing, electricals, and those things. But yeah. All right, you guys. Enough talking. Let me get into it. Okay, guys. So we are on IRCC's website, and that's Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship. So we have the section that says core or human capital factors. Let's look at what those are. And then the points are broken down based on if you have a spouse or common law partner. And guys, if you have a common law partner, you have to be able to prove that you have been with this person, for whatever period of time for them to be called your common law partners, okay? And the beauty about this, unlike the US where you have to be married to a person, for those of you who don't believe in marriage or you don't want to get married for whatever reason, you could actually immigrate to Canada without being married first, right? But yes, the points are different for people who are married and people who are without a partner. So let's look at it. So first of all, we have the age factor. I think I'm going to do a breakdown of the age later on. So if you have the age that they're looking for, you can score full points with 100, and that's if you have a partner. And without a partner, as you can see, you get 110 points. Your level of education, you can score full with 140. I think this is if you have a PhD, and that's with a partner, without a partner, 150. For your official languages, that would be your first language, the language that you have declared as your first language. You can get fully 150 for this. And without a partner, you could get 160. Now, please note that the partner does help you to get more points, but the partner could also draw you down, because if their language points aren't the best, then you could lose points there. Now, I'm not saying when you are applying, if you're going to bring your partner, especially if we've spoken about this with the whole money situation, put them on the thing, put them in the application. I love to use the word thing too much. Canadian work experience, most of us do not have that, but you can get 70 points for that if you're married or with a partner, and 80 without. Now, these are points that you could gain with your partner. So if your partner has to evaluate their degree as well in order to get these. By the way, you can't just put that your partner has a master's, you have to get it evaluated. So level of education, they can get 10. Official language proficiency, they can get 20. And Canadian work experience, they can get another 10. Let's look at the transferable skills. So that would be your education, work experience, and all those things. So it says here, education with good or strong official language proficiency and a post-secondary degree. So you can get 50. With Canadian work experience and a post-secondary degree, you can also get 50. And guys, this is why the pool is so competitive, because some people do have Canadian experience, but do not be dismayed, especially where the studies are concerned. If your evaluation says it's equivalent to a Canadian degree, you are okay. Don't think that because somebody studied in Canada, they have something above you. Some of them still don't have the amount of points that you have. Let's look at, you guys know I will forever be encouraging you. My day ones, my true flexers know that I'm always encouraging you guys. Anywho, foreign work experience. So with good or strong official languages proficiency, that's the Canadian language benchmark, level 7 or higher, and foreign work experience, you can get up to 50 points. With Canadian work experience and foreign work experience, you can get 50 points. Qualification, you can get up to 50 points. All right, so these are the additional factors. If you have a brother or a sister living in Canada as a citizen or a permanent resident, you can get an additional 15. And guys, as I said, if they give you the invitation to apply, you have to prove these things. So ensure that you have your birth certificates ready for both you and the sibling that you have claimed as, somebody that you have in Canada for you. Okay. I think if you are going through PNP, which is another stream, some PNPs will include even aunts and uncles as family, but for express entry, they're asking for brother and sister. French language skills, so that would be like a second language. You can get an additional 50 points. Post-secondary education in Canada, another 30 points. Now, if you have arranged employment within the tier group, I should have spoken about those. Let me stop right here, and this is why I said that you guys need to follow with me throughout the whole thing, because I'll stop and say something, in between. So for the degree that you have and the experience that you have as well, you are placed within a certain knock code. That's what they call it. And there are different tiers. There's tier 0, 1, 2, 3. So they're saying here, and when you look at it, you can see the tier group that you are a part of. So it says that if you get employment within tier 0, that's an additional 200 points. If you get employment within 1, 2, or 3, you can get an additional 50 points. For my teachers, secondary school teachers and primary ed teachers or elementary teachers, we would fall in the tier 1 group. If you have a PN, that's a Providence nomination, you'll get an additional whopping 600 points. So in addition, remember I said there are multiple streams to get to Canada. So if you get PNP, get through with a Provincial nominee program, you can get an additional 600 for express entry. And now it would become real express entry. Okay. So overall, we looked at the human capital, spouse, and everything. Let's look at the age. Okay, so I did say that I would show this, but it's on this page. So as it says here, if you're 17 or less, you're not going to get any points. Because remember, Canada wants people who can actually work. So if you're 18, you can get 90 points. 90, and that's with a partner. Without a partner, you can get 99 points. If you're 19, you get 95. With a partner, without 105. If you're 20 to 29 years, so that's the ideal age that they're looking for, you can get 100 points, the maximum 100 points. If you have a partner, without a partner, you can get 110 points. If you are 30, and you guys can read, I'm just going to scroll slowly, and you can just, keep looking at the age and the points for each age group. Scrolling slowly, and you guys can, take a screenshot of it. I'll also be leaving this website in the description box below so that you guys can really go through at your own leisure and fully read through this. But I'm just here to give you any guidance, answer any possible questions that, are probably popping in your heads right now. Level of education, as you can see, if you just have a high school diploma, it's 28. And guys, I keep looking at the part with a partner. I guess because I have a partner, I keep looking at that side, but you guys can always look at the other side if you do not have a partner. A degree, diploma, or certificate, 84. 2-year, and that's 1-year degree. 2-year program, a bachelor's degree is 112. Certificates, 119. So you see, the higher education that you have, the better chance that you have. All right, let's look at the language proficiency. So like I told you guys before, it's based on reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And so the CLB is the benchmark that they use. So even if you do IELTS, or I think there's a CELP, they still rank it based on the benchmark. So if you score a CLB. Remember that you want at least a CLB 7 across the board. So if you score CLB 7 with a partner, it's 16 points. Without 17. Oh, and I think this is for, right, never mind. This is for a second language. You can score, these amount of points. I won't be going through everything, right? Canadian work experience, as you can see, 1 year 35 points, 2 years 46 points. Many of us do not have any Canadian work experience. And guys, this isn't online experience because they do ask that in the application. It's really face-to-face in the country experience. And guys, while I'm scrolling through, please remember, if you have additional information that we can all benefit from, feel free to put it in the comment section down below. Remember, we are a community where we learn from each other. Maybe you know something that I do not know. Maybe I said something that was not 100% accurate. You can feel free to put it in the comment section below respectfully, because we are a respectful community, right? All right. Foreign work experience would refer to the experience that you have in your own country. So any country outside of Canada. So if you're in Ghana, India, if you are Ghanaian and you are currently working in Dubai, for example, anything outside of Canada would be considered to be foreign work experience. So no work experience, 0 points, obviously. 1 to 2 years of work experience, 13 points. 3 or more is where we want to be. 25 points, and that's if you're married. And guys, remember that your partner's work experience would add to this 25 if you're married. So in all, you can get 50 points if you are not married. Right, so we're looking at the same thing for the partner. That is it. And like I said before, I will share this website with you in the comment section down below. That is interested, even if they don't have a degree, they can look at this and check it out for themselves. Now, let's go to the points calculator to see how much we could possibly get and see if we would be eligible for express entry. So once again, I will be putting this in the description box below. Check that out so that you can calculate your own score. But I'll be going through this with you guys. So the CRS stands for Comprehensive Ranking System. So this is a tool that you could use. So we're going to scroll down to, you have not filled out an express entry profile, but you'd like to see what your comprehensive ranking system score might be. Let me just click on that. And you can read through that at your own leisure. We read all of these before. We're just going to scroll. And we're going to use our comprehensive ranking system tool. You can read that on your own. All right, so here we're starting. So with each question that you respond to, the next question will load. So it says, what is your marital status? Because I'm married, I'm going to go ahead and put married. Is your spouse or common law partner a citizen or permanent resident of Canada? No. Will your spouse or common law partner come with you to Canada? Yes. How old are you? Why didn't I was looking at something else, guys. That's why I paused. How old are you? Scroll. I'm actually 28, so now you guys know my age. And I know you guys are like, oh my God, I thought you were older. Okay, get over it. What is your level of education? So it says, enter the highest level of education for which you earned a Canadian degree or certificate. Do not be frightened by this, because it also says, or had an educational credential assessment, ECA, if you did your study outside of Canada. So most of us did our studies outside of Canada. So where I have a master's, I'm going to put a master's. Or you know what? Let me put bachelor's, because maybe you guys have a bachelor's. I'm going to put a bachelor's. So we have a bachelor's. Have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate? No. No, we have not. Okay, because we studied outside. Official languages, English, French. Are your test results less than 2 years old? We're gonna go ahead and select yes. Which language test did you take for your first official language? We're gonna go ahead and select IELTS or CELPIP. I think the IELTS is more accessible to people. So IELTS. Enter your test scores, and guys, even if you haven't done the test, just put something that you think you could get. You don't know anything about the test just yet, but just put something in there. So for speaking, I'm gonna put 7.5 to 9. Listening, my ears them tough and cock up, so I'm gonna put 7.5. Reading, I'm going to put, even though the reading I hear is the harder part. Let's put that, and I'm gonna up the listening a little bit. So I'm gonna put it at 8. Writing, let's put it at 7 as well. So we put the highest for speaking. Listening, we'll put something a little lower, and we just went down a little bit. Do you have other language results? Most of us do not, so we're gonna put not applicable. But if you do, you can go ahead and put in just select one of them and do the same as we did for the IELTS. Just put in some scores as you think you could perhaps get. Now it says, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada do you have? We have 0, okay? None or less than a year. In the last 10 years, how many total years of foreign skilled work experience do you have? So remember I said the foreign work experience would be anything outside of Canada. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 years or more. I feel like most people who are interested in going to Canada have been working for a while. But if you have fewer years of experience, you can go ahead and put that in for your thing. Do you have a certificate or qualification, a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province? No, we do not. Do you have a valid job offer supported by a labor market impact assessment, LMIA? No, we do not. Do you have a nomination certificate from a province or territory? Not yet. And remember, guys, I said that, if you do enter express entry, you can always go back and change. And this isn't the express entry application. This is just the CRS to see if you would actually qualify. Do you have a spouse or common law partner? If they will come with you to Canada, you or your spouse, guys, sometimes I can't read, or common law partner, if they will come with you to Canada, have at least one brother or sister living in Canada who is a citizen or permanent resident. The answer is no. Of course, if you do, you put yes. What is the highest level of education for which your spouse or common law partner has? Now, guys, as I said before, if you're going to put that your partner has a degree, a bachelor's degree, master's, doctorate, you do need to have an ECA done for your partner as well for it to be valid when they ask you for the proof. So we're going to go ahead and, so we put that we have a bachelor's. Let's put that our partner have a master's. And guys, whoever you think, you both can create a profile separately. And when I say separately but together, meaning I can create a profile and put my spouse as the accompanying person, and he can also create a profile and put me as a accompanying person, right? Because sometimes they do the draws based on different categories. So what if one of you guys have perhaps a stronger profile? Maybe I have fewer points than my spouse, but yet my profile is stronger based on what they're looking for. Like recently, they have been doing many draws for French proficiency and some other factors. So if my score is 400 and my spouse's is 500 or 450, but yet they're doing the draws for French proficiency, which my husband doesn't have, they will draw me and not my spouse, So I would encourage you both to get, separate accounts and at each other. Anyway, so we're going to put master's degree right here. And this is why I keep telling you guys, stay with me because I do stop and say things. In the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada does your spouse or common law partner have? We are going to say, in Canada? Oh, so none. Did your spouse take a language test? So your spouse, if you want to get the full points, they have to take the test too. So we're going to say that he took the IELTS or she. And we're just going to add similar scores as we did before. All right, and we are at the end. We're going to calculate our score, and it says, so for the core or human capital factors, I got a full 100. Education, I got 112, and that's because I have a bachelor's and not a master's or doctorate. Official languages, I got 119. 0 for second language because I said I only have one language. So overall, I got 331 for this factor. For the spousal factor, I got full 10 for education, full 20 for languages, giving me 30, and we have 0 work experience in Canada. Skill transferability, we have 25 right there, 50 right there for the work experience. And then we have no additional points to get because we don't have any we don't have any siblings. We don't have anything related to Canada. So we get 0 there. And overall, we have 436 as our score. So this would be, this is indicative of our eligibility to be in the express entry pool. Now, express entry can decide on whether they think you are a good fit for the federal skilled worker program or the other two that they have. All right. I hope that this was informative for you guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Now, for my teachers, because I know that most of my viewers are teachers, for my teachers who also wish to go to Canada, express entry is an option for you. And there is also one other way which we will be discussing in the live on Sunday, December 3 with Life Up. He'll be telling us exactly how else we could get there because there are multiple streams for different categories of workers. There aren't so many for teachers, and we want to see how it is that we could actually go to Canada with permanent residency. Now, I forgot to add this part in the video, but I did say that I would mention other YouTubers that you guys could check out. Like I said, I'll be doing a live with Life Up, but definitely check out his channel. When you go over there, please comment on one of his videos and let him know that malikasflex sent you. Like I said before, go over by Christine's channel especially if you plan to study in Canada and you want to learn about just life in Canada and everything. Go over to Christine's channel. I've also been watching the Andersons. They don't know me or anything. Go over to their channel. Do I like watching them? And go to, I think she's called Shanice the Vibe. She's a teacher in Canada. So if you are one of my subscribers who is aspiring to teach in Canada, she also shares some of her experiences as a teacher, and she shared her whole journey, her whole process of the express entry and her PNP and everything on her channel. Also, she doesn't know me, so this isn't a paid sponsorship or anything, but check out their YouTubes, very informative. There's this other person, if I remember her name, I'm gonna put it in there as well. I think she's Nigerian. But check out their YouTubes, you guys. Watch one of their videos, multiple videos, and let them know malikasflex sent you. If you have gotten to the end of this video, hashtag let's get to Canada in the comment section. Once again, if you've gotten to the end of this video and you learned something that you did not know before, hashtag let's go to Canada. If you were reminded of something, also hashtag let's go to Canada. If you have questions, you can put them in the comment section. Disclaimer, I am no immigration lawyer. I'm just someone who does her research, who reads a lot. And so I'm bringing this information to you all. Feel free to put your questions in the comments. Once again, remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. This is Malika, aka Mali, aka Malibu, saying, bye.